Hi students, how are you? How you had spent the time in your home during Corona period? Please, you got to be concentrate to give a video about regarding botany, because botany is going on regarding 12th syllabus. It is very essential to you for the coming academic year. It is not only theory as well as your need point of view. Already this lesson, so many videos are going on. Today in the first chapter, the discussing topic is commonly called as fertilization. In this fertilization, this topic, please don't miss it. You should be watch entire video. It is very good help to you for your theory examination as well as need point of view. Please don't miss it. You should carry on you. So already the chapter, so many videos are going on. Today this lesson going on the topic is commonly called as fertilization. For reproduction in flowering plant, today the discussing topic is commonly called as fertilization. Fertilization, where is generally occur? Fertilization generally is occur in angiosperm plants. So what is the meaning of angiosperm? That means flowering plants. So on the globe, there are a wide range of plants that they can be exist, but all of them is not a flowering. Among them, some of the flower plants are commonly called as flowering plants. Which plants are grazed to be produced regarding what the flowering, there only occur the process of fertilization. Okay. The kinds of events is not occur in lower plants like pteridophytes and gymnosperm. Pteridophytes and bryophytes. Why these events is not occur in pteridophytes and bryophytes mean pteridophytes and bryophytes, those are commonly called as lower plants. Generally this event is not occur. Okay, now going to regarding the topic. What do you mean commonly called as fertilization? Why it is essential for flowering plants? If the event is not occur, the flowering plants mean the plant cannot be produce number of copies, or also the plant cannot reproduce in the number. Okay, what do you mean called regarding what is fertilization? Fertilization means fusion of male and female gametes. That is called fertilization. Resulting happen, zygote is formed. Zygote develop into embryo. Embryo gives produce new plants. So if new plants are produced means, which is the very basic is commonly called as fertilization. For here, in angiosperm plants, the fertilization is commonly called as double fertilization types. So for the double fertilization types of fertilization, that is or occur only in regarding what? Flowering plants. Can I go to the next one component is commonly called as events of fertilization. Are also known as stages of double fertilization. There are so many events that can be continuously going on regarding what? Fertilization. The first event is commonly called as germination of pollen on the stigma to develop pollen tube. This is the first event of fertilization. The second event is commonly called as growth of pollen tube within the style. What is the third event is commonly called as directions of pollen tube towards the micropellar ovule. The fourth one event is commonly called as entry of pollen tube through cells of synergids. Fifth one is commonly called as discharges of male gamete tube nucleus, then cytoplasm. Sixth one is called syngamy, triple fusion takes place. For the events, it can be start from pollen on the stigma to entry of pollen tube on the regarding what to micropellar end. This is commonly called as pollen pistil interactions. If the interaction, it must be existing in between regarding what the pollen and the pistil, because pollen is a male component, pistil is a female component. Without the individual component, there is no happen the process of fertilization. Both the involvements, it's a carry out. That to be commonly called as pollen on the stigma 2. In addition, at the end of pollen into regarding what the male gametophyte or pollen into regarding what the embryo sac, that event is commonly called as pollen pistil interaction. In addition, fertilization is a commonly called as it is a dynamic process. This process is not occur, there is no possible any new organism cannot be developed. So that to be say, fertilization is a dynamic process which is involved incompatibilities between pollen and pistil. So this is commonly called as structure of regarding what fertilization process. It can be included like this: stigma, style, ovary. For the pollen on the stigma, on the regarding stigma, variety of pollen grains which may be occur, because stigma is commonly called as receptive regions. It can be receive different types of pollen grain from different kinds of plants, but all the pollen grain cannot be germinate, as well as all the pollen grain cannot be regarding water fertilization. Okay, which pollen grain it responsible going to regarding water fertilization takes place? If pollen grain is compatible with the stigma, pollen grain is compatible with the stigma, that means suitable pollen grain, it can be sit on suitable stigma, then only it can be possible to develop regarding what the pollen tube. So any irrespective pollen grain, it must be cyst, any other kinds of plants, mean that pollen grain cannot germinate. This easily is going to regarding what it disintegrate. So that to say commonly called as a variety of pollen grain, it's occur on the stigma. All the pollen grain do not be germinate. All the pollen grain do not regarding water fertilization. Which is compatible pollen grain on the stigma, that's only it can be developed regarding what the pollen tubes. Because stigma is commonly called as it is a receptive structure. Okay. For the pollen on the stigma, who is to be mainly carried out for the process commonly called as, these are facilitated by two events. One is called stigmatic fluid, like wet stigma. Second one, pellicle in dry stigma. Those two, it's a carry out the main process of regarding water fertilization. In addition, those two, it is a desired compatibility and incompatibility the pollens, because the pollen it must be carried out regarding what recognition and rejection of pollen reaction between pollen tube with the stigma. Because compatibility and incompatibility, that is determined on the presence of the regarding what suitable stigma alone. Okay. For here, how you have to be find out, or what is the compatibility that must be occur different kinds of species that may be included in regarding what two different kinds of species. So it may be going on regarding what compatibility and incompatibility that is existing in the pollen tube as well as regarding what stigma. Based on the compatibility and incompatibility, the plant may be existing in interspecific and intraspecific. So what do you mean commonly called as interspecific? That means the differences occur between different species. What they call intraspecific mean? The differences occur among regarding what? Same species. So interspecific and intraspecific compatibility that can be occur in the sexual reproduction, that to be commonly called as self incompatibility. The first change of regarding what pollen grain is commonly called as when seton suitable regarding what stigma, the pollen grain is going on, the first process commonly called as what? Hydration. After hydration, the surface of regarding what the pollen wall, which secrete pollen protein. During germination of pollen tube, the content of pollen tube which may be move into tip of the pollen tubes. The next one is commonly called as the growth is always restricted in the tip of the plant tube. The growth is always restricted in tip of the pollen tube. The other pollen tubes, these are commonly called as remaining portion of pollen tube. The remaining pollen tube is completely filled with or completely occupied with largest regarding what? Vacuole. That vacuole is disconnected to regarding what? The pollen tip. Why? Or which is responsible for disconnect to regarding what? Pollen material to regarding what? The pollen tip means. Between them, presence of regarding what? Callous plaques occur. Due to presence of callous plaque, there is no interaction between regarding what? The pollen tube and the pollen materials. The next one is commonly called as, what is the commonly called as? Clack cap. That means commonly called as the meristematic cell, which is differentiated into regarding what? The permanent cell, depending on the presence of regarding what? The cell nature. What the clack cap is commonly called as the tip of the regarding what? Pollen tube is hemispherical and a transparent structure when the view on regarding what? Electron transport microscope. If you keep on electron microscope regarding what? A pollen tube, it is a hemispherical structure as well as regarding what? The transparent structure, that is commonly called as what? The clack caps.
when the crack cap is disappear, when will be going to be disappear according what a crack cap commonly called as, when the pollen tube will be stop on the growth, that time only the crack cap become regarding what it disappears. The next one to be commonly called as types of style. So after germination, pollen developed gray is produced regarding what a pollen tube, which is grow toward the style. The presence of the pollen tube on the style, it is depending on the regarding what the types. So which may to be grow, what length will be grow, where it can be going on, where it happened regarding intrusion, where it can be moved. Based on the nature, the style can be classified regarding what the three types. The first one is commonly called as hollow style. The second one is commonly called as solid style. The third one is commonly called as Hemi solid style. Can I go to the first one is commonly called as hollow style. These type of style, these are commonly occurring only in monocot plants. So what are the monocots? After germination, the seed which can be bear single cotyledon. So hollow style which may be occur only regarding what monocot plants alone. Okay. The second is commonly called as the hollow style, that means commonly called as hollow, that can be empty, is occur in the style. The hollow style, this is a commonly called as, this is a stigma, this is a style, this is ovary. So this is a commonly called as hollow style. The style, it's made up of single-lined canal cells. The single-lined canal cells here, they can be arranging one above the another. Due to arranging one above the another, they can be occur in the form of regarding vertical in nature, only in the regarding what hollow styles. That single-lined canal cell, it can be segregated mucilaginous substances. So mucilaginous commonly called as, it is a liquid matter that are occur in that regarding what space between stigma and the ovary. So the hollow style, it is start from stigma to end of the regarding what style. The entire hollow which can be filled with some of the secretory substances. That substances, it helps and as well as contribution to development of regarding what pollen tube, as well as it control incompatibility between pollen tube and stigma. So where that kinds of style it can be grow is a commonly called as the hollow style it can be grow on the surface of single-lined regarding what canal cells. The single-lined canal cell is also called regarding what? Transmitting tissue. I am already telling about you. There are so many kinds of secretory substance which may be occur on the hollow canal of regarding what style. That substances, it must be help or it give nourishment to regarding what a developing or growing pollen tube, as well as it can be control incompatibility of regarding pollen tube and style. What are the secretory substance? It must be secreted on the hollow canal. It's nothing but one of the called carbohydrates. Second thing, lipids. Third thing, enzymes. What are the enzymes to be help is commonly called as esterase. Second one, acid phosphatase. Third one, incompatibility. Controlling substances. These substance, it helps to give nourishment to regarding developing pollen tube, as well as controlling incompatibility between pollen tube and regarding what the stigma. The first style, hollow styles to be completed. Hollow style is also known as regarding what open type. The second style is commonly called as solid style. Or closed type. Solid style or also named regarding what a closed type. This type of style it is or generally occur in dicot plants. So what do you mean commonly called as dicot plants mean? The plant, it may be responsible produce two cotyledons during germination. So solid style, it's occur regarding what dicot plants. Okay. What is second event commonly called as? The whole style, it may be occupied, or what are the characteristic feature present in the regarding what solid style is commonly called as? A mass of slightly arranged specialized cell occurs in the style that is commonly called as transmitting tissue. This transmitting tissue is not occur in the solid style. Transmitting tissue it's occur only in the regarding solid style, but it is not occur regarding on the hollow style. What are the main functions of regarding on the transmitting tissue? That is responsible for help to develop pollen tube from stigma to reach on the ovary. This is a role to be carried out regarding transmitting tissue. What is the function carried out transmitting tissue to be here? Such a function in hollow style it must be carried out regarding what? Single line regarding what? Canal cells. The place or the component it may be differ, but the work can be regarding what is same in hollow style as well as regarding what is solid style. Okay, where or what way the solid style to be grow means solid style it must be grow in between transmitting tissue. That is the characteristic features of regarding water solids style are also called regarding water closed types. The third one is commonly called as hemi-solid style or partially closed type. This is a style, it is an intermediate between hollow as well as solid style. There are different kinds of opinion among the regarding water authors. Some of the author to be said like this: hollow soil which containing regarding water transmitting tissue. Some of the author to be said solid style which can contain regarding water transmitting tissue. So due to occur different kinds of opinion, this is commonly called as hemi-solid style are also called regarding water partially closed type. These three is commonly called as different types of regarding water style.